We are live from RJ Dukes, and right now we bring to you Dallas Cowboys beat reporter for The Athletic, an avid sports card collector. It is Jon Machota. Good afternoon, sir.
What's up, boys? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Look at you, and you're rocking some Duke as well.
I thought you'd like that.
I do. By the way, we're just seeing word that Frank Ragnow is coming out of retirement. Which is
exciting times for the people of Metro Detroit, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because there's like a lot of people want to point to Ben Johnson leaving and Aaron Glenn leaving, but their biggest issue this year has been their offensive line for sure. And when he decided to step away, they're okay on the offensive line, but for Jared Goff to be successful, you have to have a really good offensive line. Yeah. And so I'm interested to see what kind of shape he's in.
I mean, he's only 29. When he stepped away, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
And he was a phenomenal player.
For sure. No, there's a little bit of, like with Travis Frederick, Obviously, Guion Beret factored in with all of that. But, I mean, you thought at that time that Travis would play for another 5, 6, 7 years, Even if he wasn't what he was before that, you're like, hey, as long as he's solid, you'll be good there in the middle. And then, obviously, we've seen now over the last 5, 6 years, they've had to retool the offensive line. So
now, we've been talking about this a lot today, coming off a huge victory for the Cowboys over Philadelphia. But even then, your playoff chances look slim, and it almost feels like you have to beat Kansas City to keep that alive. But at the same time, I'm sure Kansas City views this as a must-win game. Do you think both squads are coming into this saying, we have to win this game?
Yeah, no question about it. That's the one thing about whether you talk about Duke or the Dallas Cowboys, the way I look at this game is, and Dak talks about this a lot too, where, the Cowboys, even if they're not having a good season, they don't ever go into anyone's building where people are like, oh, yeah, it's just the Cowboys. We'll be. Everybody gets up for them. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's Duke with the 1 seed with Cooper Flagg or it's Duke with Greg Paulus and Josh McRoberts and Lee Melchione, and they're getting like a 6, 7 seed. Everyone still treats it like that, and that's what the Chiefs are too.
Yeah,
everyone still treats them like that, and so that's the thing. Like if this was a Thanksgiving game against maybe the Saints, I could see this Cowboys team. They're riding a little high off the Eagles game that they'll look past this. There's no way you look past Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the Chiefs. It doesn't matter what their record is.
And I know it's not the most pressing thing in the world, obviously, for a lot of people, and especially not the teams. But what do you think about the narrative that this will be, maybe by a good margin, the highest-rated NFL regular season game of all time?
Yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, the Cowboys are a big part of it, no doubt.
Yep.
But that midday Thanksgiving game, as long as you're not having some type of YouTube TV issue, the numbers are going to be. I mean, it could be a 1 or 2 win Cowboys team, but if you have that midday slot on Thanksgiving, you're probably walking into 30 million people watching it.
Yeah,
and
the thought is maybe 48 million for this one. I know some people have said 50. I think it'll probably sit closer to like 46, 48.
I mean, this might sound stupid, but I think a lot of it depends on if Taylor Swift's there or not. If she's there, I think
I don't dispute that.
5 million people that, I mean, like Jerry told you guys the other day on this radio station, there is that thing about on Thanksgiving where there's people that will be tuned in that don't really care about football, but it's like the only thing on, and so that draws eyeballs and it gets people to, pay attention to where it's difficult for you to say the Dallas Cowboys to someone that knows even anything about sports and they don't have at least some opinion or haven't heard or seen them somewhere. And so I think that's a big part of it. But yeah, if Taylor Swift's there, it'll bump it up probably another 5 million people.
How big of a deal is it that Pacheco,
whether they like her or not?
No, I agree. Personally, I don't understand all of the hate towards Taylor Swift. She doesn't run the TV networks and doesn't say one shot on me right now. I don't really think that is her fault whatsoever. How big of a deal is it that Pacheco is back, but at the same time, it almost feels like it's counterbalanced or maybe negatively balanced that Trey Smith is out?
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have looked at the Trey Smith thing as being as big as it is, but then you go and you get Quinnen Williams, and that changes everything. I mean, you're just seeing that last game. If you don't double Quinnen Williams, he can wreck the game. I think he had Next Gen had him at 8 pressures when he was singled up, which is his career high. Wow. That's the thing. When you put him next to Kenny Clark and Osa and Solomon Thomas and you get all those, it's hard to double team everybody. And so that's why he's in such a great spot right now. How
much do you like the 5-man front as an aside? I know I haven't seen like a ton of it yet, but
yeah. Me personally, I love it just because of this is my 15th year covering the Cowboys, and I've just always felt like they weren't doing enough at defensive tackle. And obviously, a couple years ago, they used the first-round pick on Mozzie. It didn't work out, but hey, you're at least trying. And then they do the trade with Micah, and you go get.
They got Hankins, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, no, not like it should be. Not like when you look across, whether you talk about major college football or the teams that are making the deep playoff runs, how good they are at defensive tackle. And so, yeah, if you were a little bit better at D end, then maybe you go back to having a 4-man front. But with what they have, their value is with those defensive tackles. If they're all healthy, get them all out there.
Derek turned off his mic for you, so.
Oh. He was trying to be considerate. That's nice.
I want to be super confident about the Cowboys and looking at the Chiefs and being at home and everything. You're like, okay, well, this could go the Cowboys' way. I just feel like it's a coin flip, and maybe not even that, because the underlying metrics and analytics say the Chiefs might be better than they were last year. They're just incredibly unclutch. Maybe that got fixed last week against the Colts. Their red zone numbers are bad, but their per play efficiency, they're actually pretty dang good. They might be the best 6-5 team we've seen in a while.
Well, for sure, and as improved as the defense is these last couple of games, there's still plenty of issues on the backside that nobody would be surprised if Mahomes just is slowly picking them apart. That's the one thing about as good as the defense played against the Eagles, there was not enough pressure on Jalen Hurts if you give that time to Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna. And if it's not even the deep shots, he'll take the underneath stuff and beat you all day long with that. And so, if they're not getting pressure on Mahomes, yeah, for sure they'll be able to move the ball all over the place. But I think they've shown that they'll be able to get some stops. Where you go back 5 weeks ago, you probably would have been like, I don't know if they're going to get a stop against some of these teams. But now you get this feeling that not that they're going to get 7-8 stops in a row like they did against Philadelphia, but you feel like, hey, if the offense plays like it should, this defense should get you a handful of stops to keep you in the game.
You think CeeDee Lamb's going to have his best game of the year tomorrow?
If it's not his best, it'll be one of them. I will be very surprised if he doesn't have a great game. Looking at the different, prop bets and things like that, I would take the over on CeeDee with everything tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know if it's been brought up to Shoddy, and I don't know if there's enough evidence to actually present it yet, but we have this discussion frequently that it seems like once he gets within 10 yards, he's like, these receivers, I love them so much. When you're like, dude, you're on the 1 yard line, run the ball. You got a really good running back.
Yes.
Have you brought that up, or has anybody brought that up to him, or is it kind of like, no, let's see it first? And does Schottenheimer, does he have a specific feel like, no, this is what I do?
It has been brought up. The way he talks about it is, I have these such valuable weapons that I got to get these guys the ball. You can't double them both. Somebody's got to be open.
Even at the expense of what you just saw work the play before.
True. And there's a part of me that wonders if it's also a little bit of I also got to keep these guys happy.
Yeah, touchdown, make them happy. Yeah.
I would say late in a game, like after you have the Elijah Clark fumble and you're there on the 1, I don't really care who's happy.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I will say, when they didn't score in that instance, it added more to like even this game. That Philly game, that looks like a big win right now. That game's not over with, because if this propels them, we'll look back on that game, and it'll be even bigger than we look at it right now.
Probably so.
And I will tell you if that happens, because one of the reasons why I think it's possible is because what's ahead does not look nearly as daunting as it did when the season started.
It's true.
Thank you very much, Vikings.
Vikings, Lions, nobody thought the Chiefs would be like this.
Right.
Giants are what they were, but we thought Washington would be better than what they are.
Yes.
But I will say, when they didn't score on the goal line, it added more value to me that I'm not saying it's his best play of his career, but one of the best plays of Dak Prescott's career was that touchdown run. You can't guarantee me that they were going to score there and tie the game up if they just rely on the passing game. For him to dive in there like that, the energy that it brought.
It was kind of like that Seattle
100%.
Seattle play.
That's the only reason why I won't say it's the best, is because and it's not even the best one in that side of the end zone at AT&T Stadium, because it is that Seattle one. There's no doubt.
Awesome.
I don't know if they win that Seattle game without him doing some of those plays like that.
Sorry, how clutch was that Ferguson block then as well?
Oh, yeah.
Because that helped. I mean, props to Dak for sure.
Yeah.
But, that helped spring the hole as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And that was... I've never heard AT&T Stadium louder than on that play. I mean, that's what brings you back from being down 21-0. I mean, 21-0. Yeah, that's big to come back in any NFL game. This is not, Big 12 football. Right, do that against anybody, let alone a team that good. Yeah, that was very. I'm still stunned that they pulled that off.
It's crazy considering there were only about 55,000 Cowboys fans in there at the time too.
I mean,
get ready for that tomorrow too, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think that's going to be a 60-40
All right, so
crowd?
it might be, but I'll say the flip side on this is they certainly just played a home game in Las Vegas, and when the Lions have had home games against the Minnesota Vikings, which obviously it's a division game, they're not that far from you, there'll be like a handful of Vikings fans there.
Yeah.
You think there's only going to be a handful of Cowboys fans in Detroit on that Thursday night?
Yeah.
There's going to be a ton. I remember the last time that the Cowboys were up there, and there are people that I saw in one of the parking lots. They're like Cowboys fans from Canada who they're not getting to go to Cowboys games all the time, so they will come over from Windsor.
That's their chance.
Yeah, that's their chance to see the
Okay.
Cowboys. So it's like, while I get that with AT&T Stadium, and certainly the Raiders are going to go through this for the next 5 years plus. That is absolutely the game to go to. If you're trying to go to that one road game for your team every year.
Sure.
And I
sure.
still think the Cowboys have some of that. Being from Michigan, I'll say that this weather is great. If your team, I had a bunch of friends come down that get the game, the one against the Lions a couple years ago when the Dan Skipper play.
Oh,
the Cowboys won 2019. There was a ton of Lions fans there because it's like 30 degrees in Detroit, and you come down, you go to Texas Live. Texas Live is also a game changer too. But there before that was built, there was really nothing to do around that stadium pre and post game, and now that they have that there, that's a big thing too. But yeah, no, there is going to be a lot of Chiefs fans there, no doubt about it.
Well, we appreciate the time and appreciate you coming out. The last thing I was curious about, because somebody sent in this question, do you know of any Cowboys players that either collect their own cards or big card collectors in general?
That's a good question. I do not.
Well,
I don't know a single one that is into that at all. I know Dak isn't. He even said after the game that was one of the few jerseys that he even is going to keep, because most of them he just gives away. He's not into collectibles and things like that. And for me, I'm always just like, man, you could have everybody's jersey.
Yes.
Yes.
What player is going to turn down Dak if he asks him after the game, hey, let me get your jersey or whatever like that? Like, he could have every single... how would you not go and try and get Patrick Mahomes' jersey off this game?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. To you, Gavin. Thank you to
Thank you guys
for jumping in. We really appreciate it.